Imagine a thriving, busy city. It has power plants, highways, and bustling factories working around the clock. But this city is so microscopically small that literally trillions of them can fit inside your own body. We call these microscopic cities cells, and they are the smallest living units of any organism. Take a look at this simple diagram of a cell. No matter what kind of living thing we are talking about, every single cell has a universal set of three basic features. First, there is the cell membrane. Think of it as a security fence that separates the inside of the cell from the outside environment. Inside that fence is the cytoplasm, a jelly-like fluid that fills up all the empty space. Right in the middle is the DNA. This acts as the master instruction manual, or blueprint, telling the cell exactly what to do and how to do it. Whether you are looking at a human being or a tiny bug in your garden, these three elements, a boundary, fluid, and instructions, are the baseline requirements for life. Even though all cells share those three traits, there is a major dividing line in how they are built. The first main category is called prokaryotic cells, like bacteria. These are always single-celled organisms. Here on the left side of the screen, you can see how a prokaryote is built. It is like a simple one-room studio apartment or a campsite. The DNA and jelly are in there, but there are no interior walls or separate compartments. But over on the right, we have the second category, eukaryotic cells. These are found in plants and animals, and they operate like sprawling metropolises. They expand and divide their interior into multiple distinct walled-off rooms. We call these internal compartments organelles, which translates to little organs. You can think of them just like the specialized buildings in a city. Each one has a very specific job to perform. By putting up these internal walls, different parts of the cell can focus on different jobs without getting in each other's way. This ability to specialize and multitask is what makes it possible for more complex life forms, like trees or humans, to exist. Let's take a tour inside one of these eukaryotic cities. Do not worry about memorizing the scientific names right now. Just focus on the jobs being done. Our first stop is the nucleus. This is the secure central command center, like a heavily guarded city hall. It protects the DNA blueprints and dictates everything the rest of the cell does. Following the instructions from the nucleus, we meet the ribosomes. These are the city's individual workers, and their single vital job is to manufacture biological products called proteins. Here, ribosomes do heavy lifting on the endoplasmic reticulum, or ER, a massive factory and highway system where proteins are assembled. Exiting the factory, they enter the Golgi body, the city's post office, which folds them into specific shapes and packages them into shipping bubbles. From the nucleus giving the orders, to the factory floor of the ER, to the Golgi's shipping department, this highly coordinated supply chain runs constantly to keep the organism alive. But manufacturing is only half the story. A city this busy generates waste and requires a massive amount of power to stay functional. That is where lysosomes come in. They are the essential garbage collectors. Packed with special enzymes, they roam around breaking down worn-out cell parts and cleaning up cellular debris. To power all this activity, we rely on the mitochondria. As you can see in this video, it is a pod-like structure that acts as the main power plant for both animal and plant cells. The mitochondria act like a metabolic engine, taking in nutrients and oxygen to churn out energy. This process, called cellular respiration, produces molecules of ATP, which act like universal batteries that power every single movement and chemical reaction inside the cell. Finally, to keep the walls from caving in on all this infrastructure, the cell uses a cytoskeleton. This is an internal network of tiny protein threads and hollow tubes that act like steel beams and rods, giving the cell its three-dimensional shape. Without the garbage collectors managing waste, the power plants generating raw energy, and steel beams holding the structure, this complex metropolis would instantly collapse. Not all of these cellular cities look exactly the same. Plant cells, for example, have unique architectural upgrades that animal cells do not need. In this plant cell diagram, notice the green chloroplasts. These solar panels contain chlorophyll, capturing sunlight for photosynthesis. Also exclusive to plants are the central vacuole, a massive water tower for storage, and the thick cell wall, providing a rigid outer defensive barrier. Organelles also provide unique tools for movement. In the human respiratory tract, some cells have cilia, microscopic waving hairs that sweep dust and particles out of your airways when you cough. And as you can see here, some cells have a flagellum. This is a tiny whip-like tail that acts like a propeller. Certain bacteria use them to swim, and the only human cell with this feature is the sperm cell. These organelles act as a customizable toolkit. A cell only builds the specific structures it needs to survive in its own unique environment. When zooming out from this microscopic perspective, the true scale of human biology comes into focus. Every breath you take, every move you make, and every thought you have requires trillions of these tiny, independent cities to coordinate in perfect harmony. Every cell shares the universal three: a membrane boundary, fluid cytoplasm, and DNA instructions. Life then splits. Prokaryotes keep it simple, like a studio, while eukaryotes expand into complex metropolises. Plant and animal cells are eukaryotes, but only plants use chloroplasts and cell walls. Next time you look in the mirror, consider that you are looking at a cooperative universe. Your body is a vast network of specialized microcities, all working together to keep you alive.